Hi, Telios here. This will be the Phase 1 South Regular Combat Mission. I'm going to be running an Imperial Trooper team which consists of Veers, Starck, Death Trooper, Range Trooper, and Magma Trooper. The mods I'll be using for this team are as follows. These are the mods for Veers. These are the mods for Starck. These are the mods for Death Trooper. These are the mods for Range Trooper. And these are the mods for Magma Trooper. So before we get started, I do want to mention that I'm running this team without a tank. So I'm basically running this as a win more team. So I basically have to get a kill in every single phase for this team not to get totally smashed. I decided to run Magma Trooper in this because Magma Trooper has an AoE defense debuff, and it basically helps, or an AoE TM removal, which kind of helps snowball this even further to kind of go along with the rest of the kit. But you'll notice in the first couple waves that as soon as I get a kill, it's like to the races. But the last wave of this can be very, very sketchy, is the best way to put it. So we'll have to see what I get on the last wave, and that will kind of determine how this is going to play out. So as soon as we get a kill, this is going to be basically all over. It's just, I'm not even going to use Death Mark because it's not, I want to save that cooldown. We don't even need it. That was a tank. He just died. So the order that we actually kill these doesn't even matter because they will simply just die. So everybody will have all their cooldowns reset for the next wave. And basically, you want to pick whatever you think is probably the weakest target, which in this case is probably Clone Sarge or a Sharpshooter. And you want to try to get an AoE on them and get them down as soon as humanly possible. So with Death Trooper, every time his AoE is up, you want to use it because you want to put these guys on cooldown. So if they do take a turn, they can't really do anything to you because as long as they don't have a buff, it's going to increase their cooldowns by 1. So that's going to make this to where your team is much, much safer. So even if they do take a turn, which doesn't look to be very likely here, they're not going to be able to do anything really to you at all. So you notice that I'm doing just tons and tons of damage. The second wave here is just evaporating. And I'm basically just only using basics here because I don't need them to do anything else besides die. And I want all my cooldowns to be ready for the start of the next wave. So none of the remaining characters were going to do anything to me, so I just basic them down. So this is where things start to get a little bit more hairy. There's only 4 clones here, which is probably a really bad sign for wave 4. But I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing, which is I'm going to take out Sharpshooter, get a kill, use that AoE, and make sure that the team is set up to kill something so that I can get the offense up, I can get the turn meter. I'm going to go ahead and take out Medic here. And we're going to leave Cody to last because Cody gets a buff based on how many clones are in the fight. So it doesn't really do us much good at the moment to attack him. I am going to go ahead and buff up one more time to make sure that I have all the buffs I need to kind of finish out this fight. You notice that Cody can do a lot of damage there. Starck took a lot of damage just from a basic. So this is where things get really sketchy. Depending on what happens in the final wave, it's actually, in some cases, impossible. So if I got like a Shock T, for instance, it would be impossible to do it with this team. But as it stands, I've got things like Pawns, the Clone Troopers, a bunch of Clone Troopers, a lot of taunting here, and then Mace Windu. So I am basically going to be off to the races here. And if I can get a kill, I think I will basically steamroll this. I got defense down on pawns, which is really good, and I just debuffed the rest of the team for a TM. So I think. Okay, so we have one shatter point. We really need to take out pawns here. I really need him to go down. Otherwise, okay, so we got pawns down. The other thing that really needs to go is medic. I'm a little worried here. Okay, I think we're actually going to be fine. I don't like. Actually, it looks like Shatterpoint got cleansed off. I guess I missed that. I thought that I was going to be in trouble with Shatterpoint, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. We're going to increase those cooldowns. We want to get a kill on Commander. That was really bad. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to Deathmark Mace Windu, and we're going to take him out of this fight. So Deathmark totally works on him, so he just evaporated. I probably should have done that sooner, but at this point, I don't think the clones are going to be able to do enough to stop me. These are 2 tanks, so this is basically over, and that's 4/4 waves on phase 1. So this is still kind of annoying because I'm going to have to kind of pick him off one by one. Again, this is a very momentum-based team. No tank. You could use Shore Trooper, or you could use Stormtrooper as a tank. Personally, I think it's better if you run it as a pure DPS in the early phases, and basically you just race to get the kill, and then you race to complete out the wave. It's definitely RNG depending on what you get, though. Like I said, if you get a Shock T in that final wave, you're going to be in for one hell of a time, because all the clones are going to get Retribution, and they're all going to counter you, and your team is going to die real fast. So some of it's RNG, but that's 4/4 waves with Imperial Trooper and phase 1.